on this episode of Menstruction. That's something that I feel is also extra important to look at when we consider brotherhood. The why.
It was a brick by brick and a stone by stone. Rome wasn't built in a day, it wasn't done alone. See, the spirit is the merit and the mind is the home. It takes a whole village to get a child out this home, yes. To be a great man without good instructions, a surefire way to lead a life of destruction. Let's be honest, sit down and tune in. Put an hour of your life into some menstruction.
Greetings and salutation, my beautiful souls and spirits. You already know who it is, and if you don't know who it is, we're about to give you the intro in a little bit. Come on, talk to him. You are currently listening to Menstruction, the place where we provide you the beneficial bricks to fortify the structure that is you incorporated. Take it away.
My name is Mansa and I'm here with my co-host, the indomitable, the artiste from the West, the soul brother of souls, brother Waladi Ali. Gentlemen, come on, give him a round of applause.
Hey, it's nice to be here. It's nice to be here. It's your friendly neighborhood Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy. It's your homegirl's favorite. You already know how we do it out here. Pleasure to be here. And now let me give my intro of the amazing, the incredible, fantabulous, spiritual soul brother. I'd honestly go as far as say one of God's favorites, Mr. Mansa and Waladi, hosting for us today. Hello, my brother.
Oh man, thank you. If I was emotionally capable, I'd blush. Thank you. Yes. So obviously we are not Chase Doc Martin. Doc Martin had to go off the grid for a minute, so he gave us the reins for this wonderful platform to talk about a whole bunch of stuff in a whole bunch of ways. So today we're just going to keep it real simple, real fresh, and we're going to talk about brotherhood. We're going to talk about what it means according to the dictionary, what it means according to us, and then the implications of these definitions. Now, before we get started, I want to talk about how we and Waladi met and how we became brothers. So it was way back in the day, around 2018. And I think, did we meet in Purdue or around Purdue? I remember. But
Purdue,
Purdue. And we talked, and I think we bonded over being Muslim, and we were connecting, and we were talking about praying and Juma and all that. And that just started a whole bunch of just interesting excursions, great conversations, and I can honestly say this man is my brother, and it's all love. And I think that really it was one of the best things about Morehouse, which finding brothers like Waladi and Chase and our friend Cedric and Justin and Alvin and all them, is that finding the brotherhood within the social dynamic of what the brotherhood is, right? Because Morehouse is a brotherhood, but you may not find brothers there. So finding your own brothers there is very important. So Waladi and I have been friends for a minute. You'll learn more about it as we go along. But I graduated with a BA in Cinema, Television, and Emerging Media Studies with a minor in drama. And then I'm from New Jersey. I love video games and reading and graphic novels and walks and all that jazz. And I'm a cool dude, yo. So hopefully you guys can get to know me. And this will be a good thing. So, Waladi, introduce yourself real quick.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that intro as well. Yes, and let me just say, brother, it has been an honorable pleasure these last 4 years to have known you. I'd honestly say we met around this time, if not around October. I mean, the same thing with our brother Chase Martin. So I mean, it's just been a pleasure that our paths align thus far, and it's still aligning. We're still going toward the same direction. If you all don't know, if you haven't seen me on the billboards or anything like that, my name is Waladi Ali. I am a alum of Morehouse College. I graduated with my bachelor's in art, thankfully. I'm from and currently in Denver, Colorado. I enjoy long walks on the beach. I like manga, anime, you know what I mean, pina coladas, all of the above. But overall, when it comes to art, music, and talking, I feel that's something that I connect with people the most with. So I hope you enjoy us while we're here, because we're here to give you a pleasurable and amazingly awesome activity. And yeah, on that.
That sounds good. So the funny thing is, I didn't know Chase prior to a couple of months back, actually. So Lottie had talked about Chase a lot, and I was curious to always meet him. I'd seen him once or twice, but I didn't really know who he was. And so I had to edit my capstone, and I needed help with music, and Waladi had recommended Chase. So anybody that Waladi recommends, 10 out of 10 automatically. So I talked to Chase, we vibing, and I was talking to him throughout the production of the film, and we edited for 24 hours one day. Me and him. Well, really much a whole day, not 24 hours, but a whole day. Me and him. We met and edited that kind of, well, not met, but that really got to know each other. It was a great experience, and we really got to know each other, and that's pretty much the reason why Chase asked me to do this with Waladi, because we got to know each other, and he saw how I worked, and it's a pleasure, for someone to really trust me, and it's something that they're serious about, but he saw how serious I was about my film and things of that nature, so that's why I'm here with Waladi, who's known him much longer. So now that we got our Wikipedias out the way, I want to go over what brotherhood is according to the dictionary. But first, I want to go over what a brother is.
Talk to him.
So, according to Merriam-Webster, a brother can be a male who has the same parents as another, or one parent in common with another, one related to another by common ties or interests, a kinsman, one who shares with another a common nationality or racial origin, especially a black boy, a man. Soul brother. So for the sake of conversation, we're going to pick one, and then we're going to dissect it and apply it to brotherhood and the implications of that definition as well. So which one you want to pick? I'm leaning towards common ties and interests. I think that's a specific yet general broad definition we can apply to the conversation later on. What do you think?
Yeah, no, let's make that happen. That's a outward stimuli that doesn't necessarily always have to do anything with blood. So, I mean, let's talk about that.
All right, that sounds good. So, what is brotherhood? According to Merriam-Webster, brotherhood can be defined as the quality or state of being brothers, a fellowship or an alliance, an association such as a labor union or a monastic society for a particular purpose, the whole body of persons engaged in a business or profession, and then some synonyms are fraternity, association, board, club, college, congress, institution, organization, and society. Now, I want y'all to keep that in mind. I want y'all to keep that in mind, these definitions, and we will revisit them later. So, now what does brotherhood mean to us? So, I'll go first if that's okay with you, brother.
Please.
So, to me, brotherhood is a structure designed to support those who need it. It pertains to the aforementioned brothers, right, in quotes, and also sisters. It's a pledge of undying loyalty to an extent. It's essentially the mirror image and supplement to sisterhood. It's accountability. It's the framework for greatness and peace. Because without brotherhood, there can only be deceit and chaos. If you can't trust the person next to you, if you can't trust the person with your family, you can't trust the person with your money, you can't trust the person with your secrets, then what's the point of forming bonds? What's the point of having these leagues and institutes and clubs if there's no trust? What's the point of having your brother's back if you got a knife in the other hand?
Man, I was going to say, what I really enjoyed about your definition is that use of the word trust, as opposed to deceit, that is running rampant in the world. I would say 50%, right? 50% untrustworthy, 50% trustworthy. But what I also feel comes with brotherhood, because I agree with everything that you said, is faith and hope, and having the results to show from that. Like for you, you could have been I know you're not Could have been an axe wielding murderer from Elm Street, whatever that could maybe, you know what I'm saying? But I had taken the chance. I said, that brother has a book, and this is first year of college. It's up to me to lead my life and make these friends, whether or not we continue talking after this day or the next month. I can say that I had hope, I had faith, and I tried, right? So I had that hope and optimism, you know what I mean, to reach out to you and say, you know, hello, you know, my name is this. Tell me about yourself, what you reading right there. And so forth. 4 years down the road, I say that I've gotten return on investment from our friendship in more ways than one that could not even be counted within this world, you know. So, yeah, to me, brotherhood is everything that Mansa had just laid out with the inclusion of faith and hope.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I totally agree. It is that leap of faith. Because you have to take a leap to land somewhere else. If you don't take a leap, you're gonna be right where you are right now.
Come on now.
Right?
Huh.
Tom Cruise took 24 leaps. He in different movies. If he just stayed on the one movie, he would not be Tom Cruise. He took leaps. Literally
Listen,
leaps.
Man, his last name is literally a verb, all right? I couldn't imagine him standing somewhere else. You feel me?
Tomas Cruise. Tomas Cruise.
According to Merriam-Webster on Wikipedia, his full name is actually Timothy Cruiseworthy.
No.
Yes, sir. Along with Cardigan, Backyardigan, and Littleton Pumpernickel. You like those? You like that? You like that?
Oh, Mike. I hate you so much. I was like, yo, that's so crazy. Nah, he lying, bro. This shit lying. Talking about Cruiseworthy. I'll really fight you, bro. My man saying Cruiseworthy? That's tough, though. That's really tough. Timothy, Cruiseworthy. What even is that? Oh, man. I'm a bad influence because you were not doing that before we met. Oh, God.
Oh, man. You know how you do it. You know how we do it.
Oh, God, I'm a bad influence. That was great. Yes, I do think it's that. And I also want to add something. I think it's understanding limitations and boundaries, right? And understanding what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. A lot of people think that brotherhood is just kind of open contract. Open contract that, hey, you said we brothers, son. Let's go commit a homicide. A homicide. Nah, you see my brother. Yeah, I ain't see I was a murderer or something. Like, whoa, hold on. Don't abuse. And then that's a bigger societal problem. We abuse titles too much. We put too much power in these titles, but you don't put the regulations on these titles.
Oh, yeah.
So that's with relationships, that's with anything, right? It's like, yeah, I'm your brother. That don't mean I'm going to go commit crimes with you, right? I'll help you out as much as I can, but I can't give you my arm because I ain't got my arm. So next time you need my arm, what am I supposed to do? I need the other one.
Exactly. Yes, and you know what I love about your perspective on that too is, man, you treat these relationships. What we all need to do is treat these relationships as we would treat romantic relationships. Whether it comes, you know what I mean, having that first conversation. You know, this is what I picked up 2019, 2020, you know what I mean, of where we're going, you know what I mean, and what is expected, what is in a way prohibited or looked down upon, you know, what you can do, what you are unable to do, or perhaps not willing to do, and then deciding how we're going to move forward. If we're going to be in this relationship, you know, or be closer as boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever it looks like, or brothers, you know what I mean, or sisters, and say, okay, this is what I can bring, this is what I'm unable to bring. So yeah, if my brother says, yo, I'm about to go commit a homicide, roll with me, I'm not going to roll with you. And also the brotherly thing for me to do is not let you do it or remove myself from the situation, you know, because I'm not going to sit back. It's not going to be one of my brothers on the news that commits a homicide, because then that's a fault upon myself saying, okay, I didn't treat this seriously, or, you know, he told me and I didn't see these signs, or again, we removed ourselves from the situation to where we ain't got to be implied, because then you're going to be like, yeah, well, that's my brother, you know what I mean? He was at the crib helping me, you know? So I mean, that's things that you brought up, man, that I definitely want to emphasize.
No, great point. So that leads into the third section, right? The third part of this conversation, which is the implications of these definitions. And so you brought up a great point, and I want to go to that point now. What is it? What is brotherhood? What's missing from these definitions, right? What didn't we say? What aren't we seeing? I think we just mentioned one. Brotherhood is not a detriment. Brotherhood is not a cancer. It's not a poison. It's not a corrosion of the soul, right? Now, the things that can be labeled brotherhood can contain these things, right? An institution, a club, an organization, fraternity, right? They can include corrupt people. They can include very, very poisonous ideologies. But that's not what they are. It's about the people that make up the brotherhood. The brothers that make up the brotherhood. It is about the content of the people. It's about the content of the people. I'm not talking about a bio. I'm not talking about a resume. I'm talking about who people are when the door is closed. What I had to do freshman year, I had to make a decision. I took praying for granted at home, slacking, right? And for those you don't know, Waladi and I are proud believers in the Muslim faith. Pray 5 times a day, keeps the devil away, right?
Talk to him.
And so I had to make a choice. I sat there in front of my prayer room. My parents was gone. I'm in my dorm, facing the Qibla, which is where Mecca, where Muslims pray. I'm facing that Qibla. I said, I'm either going to pray or I'm not. So I did. I haven't looked back. But that's who I am. I believe. So you have to really think about who people are when the door is closed. You shake my hand, smile in my face right now. You get off the phone, man, want Mansa and that's who you really are. Regardless of what you say, regardless of what people think, there's even a chapter in the Quran that talks about people who show face, come in the masjid, pray, but it's just to show face.
Make it a spectacle. Pray in the middle of the town square so everybody may see him praying. Exactly. It's disingenuous. The intention behind it is to be a showboater or to perhaps rub your faith in other people's faces. Look how great I am. Look how amazing. Watch me complete my prayers. That's not what we want to do.
Right. And this is not our podcast, Words of Wisdom, where we delve more deep into Quran and all that. But I do want to read this just to be sure. They believe this is the, let me make sure what translation this is. This is the Yusuf Ali translation of Surah Al-Ma'un, what I was talking about a little bit. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Seest thou one who denies the judgment? Then such is the man who repulses the orphan and encourages not feeding of the indigent. So word to the worshippers who are neglectful of their prayers, those who want to be seen of men, but refuse to supply even neighborly deeds. So basically we were talking about and what Allah is talking about in here, it's you want to be seen. You want people to know where you're at, but you're not even taking care of your neighbor. You're not even giving community service. You want to be the center of attention, but you're ignoring the consequence of your actions. You're like, ain't no judgment day for me. I'm out, right? And so you don't want to be like that with your brotherhood and relationships. You don't want to show both like, it's my man. We doing this and yada yada yada. Hey, bro. Hey, I need a ride. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, I can't. You playing a video game. He's 2 minutes away from your house. Right? Oh, bro, anytime you need a ride, I got you. Hey, actually, I need a ride to Walmart. Nah, that's crazy. See what happened, bro? That's wild, bro. Because when I said that, bro, my car in the shop. But you drove here. It's about to be in the shop. I gotta take it right now. Oh, okay.
And it comes with that too, man. Don't promise. Don't overpromise. especially to your loved ones, man. You know, you have to have that self knowledge. You got to know yourself before you enter brotherhoods or relationships. You know, to know what you need and know what you're able to give, right? So, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to call you every day. This is to my girlfriend or my brother. I'm not going to call you every day. I want to. I know you would like me to. Or, you know, I mean, we can't. Please, I'm not going to stay on the phone with you past this hour. You know, because that is when I'd like to go to sleep. You know what I mean? Things like that. So setting these stipulations beforehand, so we're not entering here saying, well, darn, why didn't he? Why can't he? Why can't she? You know what I mean? Like, we talked about this, you know? That's something I always used to say in my relationships. I'd be like, you know, we already talked about it, man. You lost the receipt. You knew what you was getting into. You can't bag it. But you can't take me back. You can't take me back to the store, baby. You already got me. What? I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't return you back to Goodwill. I'm sorry. You know, and that's okay. So, you know, I didn't mean to say Goodwill. You know, I mean, I shout out all my exes. I didn't mean to say Goodwill. That was funny. But
Kill it.
But you got to be conscious. You know, to be self-education is extremely important before you enter into relationships, because it'll help you take it more seriously and be less roadblocks on the path.
Right. Yeah, and to that point, my uncle told me that the only difference between, you know, the women that you like and want to get met, you good?
Should have muted myself, man. Nah, I'm still thinking about that Goodwill line.
Oh my God, get over yourself.
Everywhere. Oh man, I'm about to get some DMs there. Like,
you'll be alright, man. You'll be alright. Be alright. I might do some magic. You be good. I'll save your life.
Now leave that in. Leave that.
So,
whoever's listening gonna hear it, and they're gonna need to hear it. Man, I'm listening.
My man, Waladi right now, but I can dig it. So, in respect to that, and I want to get on that point what you said, right? Brotherhood and then romantic relationships are still relationships and need to be treated as such on a general level. Need to be general criteria for all your relationships, business, friends, romantic, parents. My uncle told me, he said, look, how you deal with your mom and your grandmom and your women in your family are the same way you deal with women in your life, minus the intimacy. This is practice. You respect them, treat them well. You figure out what makes them, happy, what makes them angry, how to talk with them, what to do. And not to say all women are the same, but I'm just saying it's a snapshot. It's practice. Right. So if you respect your mom, you should respect your significant other, right? Or you respect your family, right? Your grandma, your mom, father, whatever. You respect your family. You should respect your friends, respect your significant others. Not in the same regard. You should have that same mindset of respect. This shouldn't be, my mom is great. Yo, throw my girlfriend away. Huh? Throw my significant other away. What? I don't got a calculator, but that don't add up to me. You know what I'm saying? That don't add up to me. So I'm thinking like, yo, what's up with that? And I think for some reason there's these barriers here. Now, society puts these, outside of marriage relationships on a high pedestal, right, for the most part. So you're supposed to take them seriously. But for some reason there's a disconnect. My family, whatever, my family highest regard, but anybody else, or even I've seen people, homies that will diss or like not really care about significant other, but they down for the homies on everything. Now, yes, the homies come first for the majority of the time, yeah. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean a disregard. Like when you was with somebody and I was with somebody, you come first. But that doesn't mean like we disregarded our significant others. So there's a balance with that. Everything's a balance in that. And I think when it comes to brotherhood, it's this die-hard mentality. It's this die-hard. You either do it or you go home. It's like, do what your best or go home. It's like, hey. Like, everything ain't life or death. But I feel like when it comes to the black community and the fact that a portion of black men are in jail, in and out of jail. We're dying, whether it be from the slavery foods, right? The pre-existing conditions, homicide, and suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide is a very big thing, and people don't talk about that, man. Also, testicular cancer. Testicular cancer affects the black male community significant times higher. Yes, significant times higher than white males. I don't know the numbers. I forgot. It's been a while since I took men's health, but that is a thing. Testicular cancer has higher rates in black men.
See, I had taken men's health too. That was actually my first class in my freshman year. And what I recall seeing on the first was heart attacks from high blood pressure, then homicide. I never saw testicular cancer. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, people, please look that up. I'm not a doctor. I remember that testicular cancer does disproportionately affects black males more than white males. And yeah, it's like and then we have the whole men are worthless kind of campaign that goes along. And look, man, if you were hurt, I'm sorry for you. And if that's what the conclusion, you can't. But the thing is, before you shun people and what they say, you always question it, right? Because, and we'll go into this now. So fraternity is a brotherhood, right?
Yep.
And certain fraternities have certain reputations, and that can hinder someone from trying to talk to anybody, right? You're part of a specific organization, somebody might see you as something that you're not because of reputation. And it might hurt you in that respect. And what was I saying? Yeah, when it comes to black men, it's like that, and then just men in general, but like that whole kind of men that are worthless or they're no good, da 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 da. We kind of need to break that down and be like, okay, what made you say that? So, instead of shunning people, or when guys be like, girls ought to shave, like, all right, you had an experience that made you feel a visceral disdain for the opposite sex.
Right.
So what happened, brother? What happened, sister?
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, I've been on the other end of that. Hearing my homegirls or significant others have disdains, whether justified or not, about men, just as a general category, and not towards me specifically, but if you got, something I think some of my dad used to say, he said you can't love the fruits of the tree if you don't love the tree, So I mean, if you got a general disdain or disregards towards men or women, then in the back of your mind, that's definitely something you're going to have for your significant other, whether or not you admit that or not, So when I got out of a relationship, I had that interest, I was like, I had to stay away from women. I was like, man, women are this, women are that. I don't really like them very much. That's tough. But what it was coming from me was, like we were saying, just one experience that categorized an entire sex, unjustly. Because saying women are the same is the exact same as saying, men are the same. I was going to say something funny, but, realistically, it's the same thing, and it's both unhealthy mentalities, because then you start to look at the world differently, like that's just a inherent pessimism, when you're like, they're all the same. That's the same shit with racism or homophobia or something, y'all, it's all the same. I don't bang with you because this happened to me this one time, If so when somebody said on the internet, I ain't gonna say dude's name, but he was like, I got robbed by a black man 10 times in my life, so I don't like black people. It's like, oh, so it comes down to, your personal experience. Okay, black people robbed you, or this particular type of dog bit me on several occasions, therefore I stay away from this type of dog, man. But you kind of got to get out of your own logical fallacy and realize, okay, is my own personal bias preventing me from interacting with the world because of this? How is this helping me? What is this saving me from? Right? With air quotes, what is this saving me from? What is my fear? What is fear in general saving me from? So yeah. So just back to your point, man, that is overall unhealthy. And that's why, you know what I mean, redirecting it. That's why we got brothers, you know what I mean? Because I had to have, when I was in that state, I had to have my brothers check me and be like, yo, man, what you posting is not cool. You gotta relax, chill out, you know what I mean? I know what you're going through, but you gotta chill. You gotta relax, you know what I mean? Getting checked by your brothers or your people around you, by your circle, is important. You know what I mean? That's what brotherhood, again, you know what I mean? Another portion of it means to me, you know what I mean? Getting checked, then checking. You know what I mean? What you think?
So so let's piggyback off of that. So the implication of accountability.
Right.
That once I say, Bloody Ali is my brother, I now have the responsibility to hold him accountable for his actions. And failure to do so is the failure to be a brother if we are going to take, right, common ties and interests. If I have an interest in doing the best and mean the best for myself, then that is also the interest I have for you.
Right.
So therefore, that's the brother definition we're using. That we need to be accountable for our common ties and interests, right? We're both Muslim. You talking about, yeah, I pray 2 times morning and night. Hold on there, brother. Hold on there. Now, there is no compulsion in the religion, but I do have to ask you, what's popping? What is going on that you skipping out on the most important prayer, mind you, which is the middle? Which is the middle? Which is the middle?
That's the one people, everybody meets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Nothing with that. That's it. Hey. Right? Yeah. And I feel like when it comes to, right, we go back to these definitions. You got fraternity, institution, club, organization, Congress, which I find that very funny, right? I find that very funny. We'll get back to it later. So, those common ties and interests supersede an individual mind.
Ooh.
And sometimes they come together, you know, what they call it, gang mentality. They come together in a gang mentality. And that could be for anything. That could be for a clique. That could be for an institution. An institution could come together and say, these are our values. Forget about it. I mean, we all used to fall in the Crown Forum with a bell toll. Like wearing, right? NSO, y'all gotta wear the same kind of thing. Suit and tie, right? The institution, common ties and interests, right? We're coming together. But none of us really had common ties and interests unless you're in the friend group. So in that respect, it's a force. It's an ideal. It isn't a true brother.
Yeah.
Because everybody was of different mindsets and beliefs. No one really wanted Crown Forum. No one really cared. Not everybody was Christian or really did the church thing. Or not everybody liked MLK. Not everybody revered him like that school did every single day. Everybody revered half those presidents.
Yeah.
Okay. Congrats. This is who's hall. Okay. Like not everybody's like that. And so that's when stuff becomes murky. Because if a brother is someone that has common ties and interests, but I'm at an institution that prides itself on brotherhood, but I don't have common ties and interests with a lot of the people that are with me and the institution, then we have to go back and say, then what is a brother and what is a brotherhood?
And I'll tell you this. I'll play devil's advocate because I recall, you know, I wasn't a big fan of NSO personally. You know, just I think authority in general has always been my roadblock in life. You know, when it comes to people saying, yo, you need to, you know, when the sentence starts off with that, man, I click off very quickly. You know what I'm saying? But when we did the morning journey, you recall that, you know, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., they was banging on our doors, going crazy, right? We was doing a thing. You know, bro, oh my gosh, bro. And I think my roommate, like, stayed inside.
Yeah, my man said, I'm not going, bro.
You know, you feel me?
My man said, die, I'm going.
But what I recall upon our jogging around the campus around that time, you know, one of our brothers either fell or passed out, you know, and it was up to us behind him to pick him up, you know what I mean? Like, get him up off the floor so he doesn't get stepped on. Care for him, you know what I mean? Take our steps a little slowly to, you know what I mean, make sure he was okay. So, whereas, I'm playing devil's advocate, whereas you may be able to say forced or coerced, you know, I would say, we could say encouraged, you know, to develop common ties or even to practice the Samaritanship and be put in opportunities where we don't have common ties with this brother right here, but we are encouraged to share our humanity with him, regardless. I don't remember who I picked up. I don't, but I'm sure he's one of my brothers today, but I don't remember that dude. But I know he felt the world lifted off his shoulders when he found 3-4 brothers who stopped and said, yo, let me get you. Like, put your arm around my shoulder, my brother. You feel me? So balance is definitely important, and individual thought is extremely important, because the college, they encouraged us to do that, but they wasn't explicit saying somebody falls, pick them up. That was something that we was like, yo, yeah, we got you. You know what I mean? And they put us in a space to be encouraged to do that opportunity and say, okay, now do that for the rest of these 4 years, and then do that for the rest of your life. You feel me? So perspective plays a heavy role in it, but I definitely do agree that individual thought should supersede anything that anybody, institution, or anything of the sort tells you. You have to think about it.
No, I definitely agree, and I mean, it is a balance. I mean,
right.
We did, like I said, we end up fostering our own kind of brother thing.
Right.
But it was a balance of, they pushed this thing, so then we're like, well, if they're saying we're brothers, then we need to act like them. So
right.
It goes back to what we're given. Same thing with the military. If you're given, yo, that dude, this person, right? They got y'all got to live or die together. Therefore, you in my squadron, I ain't got no choice. That's what we were doing. So there is a choice, but there also is that, okay, I've been programmed. This is what's been instilled. Therefore, this is what we got to do. But yeah, to Morehouse's credit, that's what was the point, to instill in us this thing, and then we emphasized it in us.
Exactly.
So I think, the good intention is more of an installation or an emphasis instead of that kind of process. And I think that there could be a little bit more balance kind of thing. But to the school's credit, yes, I do agree with that. I mean, it's not one side each. I think there is both sides in each thing. It's emphasize installation, and then it's also what I call the Spike Lee method, which is hit you on the head, hit you on the head with a hammer. So okay, we're talking about accountability and these definitions, right? So again, go back into what they leave out. So I didn't say anything about people that now there's now the thing is that the negativity comes in what you add to these definitions, right? You can have a criminal organization, a criminal club, a corrupt college, a corrupt institute, institution is the cops.
Yeah.
Cops, right? Government, right? And let's think about Congress. Think about Congress, right? Now, Congress is made of men and women, right? Congress isn't just men, right? So in Congress, there is two different sides, right? You got Democrats and Republicans, right? Congress, right? But in the overall scheme of things, Congress, men and women, they have some kind of loyalty in their own cliques. They have some overall loyalty to the government. Mm-hmm. And so, if we go back to that definition, common ties and interests. Well, Democrats have common ties and interests. And Republicans have common ties and interests.
True.
Now, as we saw with Donald Trump.
Yes, DT.
Republicans took that hard. Right? Even Republicans that did not bang with him, that didn't really want him on the ticket, they were like, no, that's my man. We going hard because of that idea of brotherhood. They knew Trump was an idiot. They knew that he had no... Look, I'm not even on that. I had this concept. Yo, shout out to my teacher, right? My history teacher. He was really old school. He had some conservative views, right? But we had respect. He saw, right. Yo, you're good student. I respected him because he was real. He was a candid conversation. Look, if you racist or whatever, as long as I have a conversation with you, I ain't got no problem.
Yeah, I get you.
I ain't got no problem. Obviously, yeah, bro, that sucks that you're racist or sexist or whatever you are. But if I can have a conversation, I don't like the ones that...
You don't like gibberish?
Yeah, I don't like the... Niger, and blacks and the police and blue lives. Like, all right, dog. Like, relax. We get to get past it. Like, I want to have a civil, candid conversation with you, right? And so a lot of these conservative, like not that they're cool, but like you can talk to them. Now they might say some wild stuff, opinion, but they cool. I just
civil conversation,
cool. Right? So in that respect, so I'm thinking we saw that, man. Like those Congress people and those senators, they were like, we stand like Thor said in the Ultimate Alliance, we stand triumphant. It's hardcore, but then it's slowly but surely, some Republicans started coming out, and they were firing. Like I think Mitt Romney he came out was like, I don't bang with Trump. Some Republicans started coming out was like, we don't bang with him, and they got slammed by the party. So what we're seeing is that when accountability is trying to be held, if the majority is like, nah, then you like, nah. So say you in a group, right?
Yeah.
And we all selling drugs.
Okay.
And you like, nah, I ain't selling drugs because it's bad, right? For logical reasons. Well, if you in the brotherhood, dog, you got
selling drugs. You selling them drugs.
You got two choices. It's like, don't be in this brotherhood or sell these drugs. But it's like, what point is it when the common interests or ties aren't good? If your common tie is murder or assault or robbery, and is that a brotherhood? And if that's a brotherhood, then what's the point of having a brotherhood? Because it's a brotherhood a gang, and if it is, then it kind of breaks off into different types. But that begs the question: what are the limits? What is the corruption? What is that undying loyalty? That's why I said to an extent, because if you don't have that extent, what's going to stop you from going over?
And what we're discussing, what you had mentioned when it came to common interests that are negative, they reminded me immediately of trauma bonding. This happened to you, and this also happened to me. Or trauma bonding groups. And while maybe they do have their benefits, it just immediately reminded me of that. As far as what are we coming together off of, and what are we seeking to gain from this? Are we seeking to cope? Are we seeking for perhaps temporary relief? Or is this going to be something that is long lasting? And again, we're not here to judge, but that's immediately what I have thought about. And something that I had learned in high school or picked up is either inside class, outside of class. But when it comes to young men or women who join gangs or perhaps pursue those types of groups or find that community in negative or perhaps illegal activities, it's because they don't have that type of support at home or perhaps in their foundation. Therefore, they go to find it somewhere else. And most of the time, it's anywhere else. No matter the stipulations, whether it be, I'm only call you my brother if you go out and kill so-and-so, or you got to go sell drugs on this, you know what I'm saying? They're offering that ultimatum, to where brotherhood becomes an exchange, when it's always an exchange, of course, you're giving and getting, but it becomes a less personable exchange, but more business oriented as to you will specifically get this if you commit this action or deed that is in alignment with what the group desires. Your moral implications or your moral aptitudes need to be left at the door. And then we'll call you our brother. So that is something that can be left out as well, is the why. You know what I'm saying? Why are we brothers, and what do I gain and what am I losing when I come here? If the loss, I think I don't feel like there should be any loss, but if there is a loss, it should only be time. You know what I mean? And that's already gained back, because what you're losing in time of doing something else is what you're gaining in time spending doing something that you should be doing with your others. So that's something that I feel is also extra important to look at when we consider brotherhood. The why. You like that?
That is a great point. That is wow. I think that's a great one because you can add it to everything, right? We don't really think about those implications, right? We think about these titles, man. I want to be a part of this institution. I want to be a part of this college. I want to be a part of Congress. I want to be a part of this frat. I want to be a part of this club. But why? And how much? Like I asked you this question, right? How much is it going to take to slap you in your face? How much it going to cost? How much it going to cost? How much it going to cost if you get slapped in your face?
Top 3 months quotes. I swear to God, you say that all the time, bro. Never gets old. I always have the same reaction of damn.
You want to break it down for him?
Man, shoot. Let me see if I got it. Let me see my interpretation, man. The way I understand that. How much it can cost for you to get slapped in your face, man. You know, I look at that with how much is it going to take for you to learn? You know what I'm saying? And well, yeah, two ways. How much is it going to take for you to learn? You know, how much you got to go through for you to get the message, right? Or how much can I sell you out for? You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, if I pay you $1,000, if I pay you $10, I mean, that's your lunch money. If I pay you $10, let me smack you in your face. Boozy did something like that. I believe it was either Boozy or the Baby. It was in I don't know, maybe a supermarket, 7-Eleven or something, shooting a music video, and they paid dude. They said, yo, I give you 10 racks, slap you in the face for the music video. Literally. And he did it. He got his 10 racks, but he got smacked in the face, you know? So I personally wouldn't want that to happen to me, but even going beyond getting smacked in your mouth, right? You can look at that in your life, you know, as far as time. How much is it going to take for you to waste your time for today? You know, how many video games you're going to play? You know what I mean? In costs for you getting smacked in the mouth, a.k.a. not getting the things that you need to get done today, right? So that's how I look at that, you know what I mean, in those two versions. How much is it going to take for you to learn? And what's your price? What's your price? Do you have a price? Realistically, do you got a price? Talk to him.
Oh, yeah, you said it better than I could have said. I definitely agree with that. And what also wasn't said is that brotherhood is not peer pressure. I think I probably talked about that, but brotherhood,
loudly.
Brotherhood is not peer pressure.
No, it's peer pressure.
It's not. I don't know if I can add but School Days. Anybody that sees School Days, watch it. You gotta watch it at least once, especially when to HBC. But in School Days, Spike plays a fictional version of himself because he was in. I think he was pledging to be Q for a minute, and he didn't go through it. But the Gamma Dogs are kind of like Q-esque, and so in order to be a Gamma Dog, he has to sleep with a woman. And so there's this scene where like he's asking all these girls in the dorm, and like it fails, and he keeps trying to get in, and Lawrence Fishburne is his like older cousin, and Lawrence Fishburne's like, man, fraternities are whack and da-da-da, but Half-Pint's like, yo, I want to get in, I want to be cool, I want to be like Big Brother Dean on my teeth.
And so, I mean, another question is, bro, you know what I mean, what does this say about society, you know, and what does it say about us?
I say that society has come a long way from, you know, I live in this part of the world, you live in that part of the world, from tribes and small nations. Humanity's become such a global entity that we've lost identity. We've lost our sense of, individuality. And we're so desperate to look for family outside of our own. We're so desperate to fit in that we lose sight of what really matters. We want 50,000 followers, but we're not going to really put energy into getting 5 friends. 5 solid friends. The Teen Titans are a group of 5. The Teen Titans are a group of 5. The Teen Titans are a group of 5.
It's a message.
Right? we have to understand that we cannot get caught up in a moment to forget that life is made up of moments. And so when you sitting there in that bed, and when it's about that time and that whole moment thing is flashing, I guess supposedly, possibly, do you want to be smiling or you want to be like, dang? And I feel like we in society, we have to really forget what Donnie Brasco, what they say in Donnie Brasco.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Wow.
What's forget about it? What is that?
Forget about it. It's like, if you agree with someone, you know, like Raquel Welch's one great piece of ass, forget about it. But then, if you disagree, like a Lincoln is better than a Cadillac, forget about it. You know? But then, it's also like if something is the greatest thing in the world, like Minguero's peppers, forget about it, you know? But it's also like saying go to hell, too. Like, you know, like, hey, Paulie, you got a 1-inch pecker, and Paulie says, forget about it.
Forget about it. Paulie, forget about it.
Sometimes it just means forget about it.
All right. Thank you very much. I got it.
So yeah, but I say all that to say you gotta forget what you're told, and then Waladi, you can do your thing, and then we'll conclude and wrap out. But yeah, brotherhood transcends all boundaries. Who you love, what you look like, where you're from. Now they said soul brother and origin, whatever, but it's not exclusive to that, right? I just happen to have majority African American friends. One of my best friends is Puerto Rican,
Right.
and so it's not exclusive. Anybody can be anybody. We got all different likes, right? Movies and art, we're in art, but then Chase is in a whole different thing, Sed's in a whole different thing, right? But that's another thing. Society wants us to be separate. They want us to be sheep, but somehow we think we're wolves because we're different color fur.
Right. Wow, no, hit us with that one more time. Run that right back. Say that one more time.
Society wants to separate us, wants to keep us away. By herding us like sheep, but making us think we're wolves because we have different color. Wolf? Yeah, wolf. Sheep said wolf.
Now that was hard. Yo. Okay, go ahead, finish that.
Nah, man, but that was I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, that's really it. So you take it away, and we'll close this out.
For sure, yes, I agree with everything that you said, my brother. One common thing that I kept thinking about, as far as our society and what it says about us, is that we are desperate to be led, as individuals, which is interesting. Our self-determination at times can go out the window in exchange for somebody else doing the thinking for us so that we may, perhaps think elsewhere, think on less important things. But a majority of our decisions are, I want to be led, whether that be our scrolls on social media, what we're recommended, what even majority populations, I'm not going to act like I don't participate in it, but awareness and knowledge of it is the first step into being able to say, I want to be able to think for myself, But, even like we were talking about, that mob mentality, that gang mentality of what is everybody else thinking? What does everybody else think about this? So I may form my opinion, I'll be doing little exercises with myself, if I go into hot take videos or things such as that, I don't really like to get into celebrity gossip or celebrity drama, but, since 2019, 2020, ever since my opinion has really been challenged, I've been like, okay, am I able to form a solid opinion before I hear somebody else's opinion and not be swayed by it and learn new things from it, maybe adjust it based on factual information or what, things I agree with. But I want to challenge myself to not hear something first and then be like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happens the majority of the time. You hear something once and you're like, okay, how many people agree with it? Then you form your opinion like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, all right. Instead of looking at further details, And that's just throughout all of our reality and all of our time here on earth, it is important for us to have distinctions and mental distinctions and not solely let our experience dictate our decisions. Like we were talking about beforehand, have you looked beyond your subjective reality into the objective reality that you are participating in, whether you like it or not, you know? So again, thinking for yourself, individuality plays a big, big role in the brotherhoods, sisterhoods, and overall groups that we choose to associate ourselves with. And that's what we want to make sure is highly, highly emphasized within this conversation, making sure that you are in a space that you are at on purpose.
Where the cook by it? Where the cook by it?
Anything that I said that was wrong or incorrect, man, is a result of me.
Right. Anything good was from Allah. Was the full
I mean,
so inside Muslim joke, Kabaz's speech. That's an inside Muslim joke. Alrighty, so we have reached the last stop on the conversation train for today. Waladi, would you just recap what we talked about shortly, please?
Of course. So today we talked about what brotherhood is, right? The definitions, our own definitions, and what Merriam-Webster has defined it as, right? And dissecting the brotherhood that comes with common ties, right? Or interests. Next, we discuss what does brotherhood mean to us, right? The structures that it's designed to provide for us, or the implementations that it involves, or coercion that may go inside of it, and what the heck are we really doing there, right? And then we discuss the implications that these have, what is left out, what is said about our society, and what is overall said about us. And once again, to reemphasize, the main majority of what we were discussing, the main thing that we kept coming back to is individuality and thinking for yourself, and once again, being where you are on purpose.
Thank you. Now, Waladi and I import y'all to define brotherhood for yourselves and reconsider what it is and is not to you. The more you know.
I love it.
Okay, this is part 1 in Ties More Brotherly, discussion on brotherhood and the implications of the aforementioned word. And Waladi, will you close this out, please?
Of course, you already know it's been your host, Mansa Aziz, and Waladi Ali today. And this has been another episode of Menstruction, the place where the men of today build the structures for the men of tomorrow. I love, in this case, we love each and every one of you. And peace.